Beloved, welcome back to building your very own cozy cabin. Today we're going to be performing some chainsaw surgery with the little top bar handle. And when installing the deck, my cedar deck boards won't fit underneath of the sill logs, and we're going to have to do a very precise cut on that. So let's remove the top board so we can get the saw in there. Start by getting our saw sorted. I think that chain looks a little bit loose to me. One feature Husky has that I have not seen on stills is a captured bar nut. Air filter looks good. It even has a gas gauge, or a little window. That's kind of nice, isn't it? Let's grab our drill. If you were here for yesterday's video, you'll remember that we're putting this deck, we're trying to get this deck to fit underneath these logs here to have a nice clean look, but they're bumping into it. So we need to trim just a little bit, like a ½ an inch off of there. This little saw sits flat, and if we come in here, we can see that we're close, but this would be taking too much log. If I were to cut here, I would be, I'd have a 3/4 inch gap, which is not going to look very good. Not to mention running the saw on this soft cedar is going to tear it all up, and if I put a piece of wood on there, it's going to even lift it higher. So I think what we need to do is to pull these deck boards off right here, these three, and then use a thinner piece of plywood that's half the thickness of this, and that will lower us down to get us where we need to be. So let's yank these guys off right now. There's only a few screws in them, so it shouldn't be too bad. My son Jack left the house yesterday morning at 4 a.m. To go on his first wildland fire. He's about 80 miles or so east of here, 70,000 acre big fire that's kicking off right now. So I'll let you know any updates as soon as I get them. We haven't heard much back. Now we can set these out of the way. We're going to want to keep track of them, that they go back the exact way we took them off. With those deck boards out of the way, it seems to me if we put this piece of 3/4 inch plywood down, and we can use this kind of for a jig, and then we can just move it along, we can trim just a 1/4 inch off the bottom of those logs. The tricky bit's going to be to stay out of that flashing. Well, I guess the only thing left to do is to start cutting. Goodness, we got a thunderstorm coming in. I can see lightning as well, which is bad for us. That means wildland fires when we get lightning like this. Well, I'm going to put everything under cover here, and fortunately we're working under the roof. Not so quick. I forgot this little section right here. I learned quickly that the exhaust port comes out the side here, and I was covering it up, and like, the saw's not running very good. It's getting really hot. I'm like, oh no, I've covered that. So by pushing this plywood forward and hanging it this way, now the exhaust gets to hang, and it seems to work a lot better that way. So beware if you're doing this. All of this looks good, but I do need to trim the bottom of this log just a little bit, and then we'll have it. So far, so good, gentlemen. We have all of the deck boards on, the spacing all worked out, and finally, we can make this cut. Now, as I stated in previous videos, I have never done this style of deck before, and I didn't think that I could cut all the ends close enough to be the same to satisfy my ADHD, or whatever you want to call it. So we're gonna cut these all off at once with the track saw. I believe it was Chuck Yeager's prayer that comes to mind. Lord, don't let me screw up. The end of this decking needs to be exactly 1/4 inch behind this miter. So if we measure the length of this and duplicate that on the other side, we should have a straight cut. 209 and a 16th. Measure twice, cut once. Hopefully. It seems to me, if we lay our guide right on our knife marks, we got our depth set at 1.5 inches. I guess we're ready to go. This will be my first time using this Milwaukee oscillating tool. I got some new blades. Goodness, it's shocking how expensive those little blades are. They can't cost that much to make. I guess that's where they make all their profit. Ooh, slow start. That's nice. Variable speed. Is this keyless chuck, I'm hoping? Looks like it. Okay, so which is going to be the best bit? What's that for? Titanium, hardwood, multi-material, wood. Let's go with standard wood. Now these last 4 will have to be taken out and cut, so I'll just mark that. I've slid these 4 pieces of decking back and perfectly flushed the ends here. It seems to me that recutting these once again with a track saw is going to be the best way to go. But we don't need this long track, so let's split this in half. It's going to be a whole lot more manageable for us. See, there's a lot to learn, gentlemen. You never stop learning. Did I just go to the end of a branch and start cutting it, and now I'm about to fall off myself here? Goodness, there's a reason why I had it on the other side. Now I know why. Maybe we'll finish that one by hand. I am not a smart man. Pretty awesome. Well, gentlemen, it's the moment of truth, what we've all been waiting for. Will I be victorious? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to chamfer the edge of those deck boards before we put this on. Looks like we have a visitor here. Well, keep yourself healthy. You might need venison in the near future. Let's get this miter sorted out. You can see there's a little bit of flex in there. So let's start, if we put a screw in right here, it might pull it down. Did a little bit, but not quite enough. So what we're gonna wanna do is to put a clamp on here and press this down and get a screw in at a 45. So to kind of visual aid here, you can use your square and get the depth so that you don't go through. You're gonna wanna be flush, so it'll be right in here. So that kind of help you. You can make a mark, you know, kind of keep you on track. Believe it or not, I think we are done, short of a few screws. Let's check our work. Looks good. I like the way it tucked up underneath there. The cuts over here and the miters turned out good. Nice and straight. Very, very happy. What do you think? Took long enough, right? Well, you know what I say, I learned my lessons slow, but looks great. Looks really good. All right, well, next up, we're gonna have to build some stairs. Most of you in the poll, I think, thought that it would look best to have them all the way down the front or all the way across. Let me price out what that's going to cost. That's a lot of material. It's quite expensive to build decks. There's just a lot of material to them. It's always, I think it always surprises people. But that turned out great. Here comes my lunch. Hello, ladies. I just finished.
It's gorgeous. Can I walk up there with my shoes on?
It's all done, yeah.
Oh, it's so gorgeous.
What do you think, Loaf?
I love it.
Well, beloved, I'm gonna get out of here before this thunderstorm hits and I get all wet. I'll get my tools packed up and go find something to do in the shop. Thank you for watching. I sure appreciate your time. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.